You've no doubt heard what power creep is. Hell, just look what became of Dragon Ball or the MCU. Complexity creep is somewhat similar, but instead of constantly increasing the threat level to up the ante, the creators keep adding entirely new characters, technologies and plotlines to up the ante. With the second season of Go-Go Loser Ranger finished, I can now hold it up as the absolute pinnacle of this failing. It starts off simple yet brilliant. This Power Ranger-ish group defeated a bunch of monster bosses 13 years ago and used their shape-shifting underlings to keep up their fame and reputation. Sick of this unfair deal, one of the weak underlings decide to use their shape-shifting powers to sneak into the Ranger Force and kill each one of these secretly evil flower mangers. Fantastic starting premise. So from there, he meets this devious lady who also wants to kill the dour strangers and learns he needs to steal the divine artifacts first. Okay, a clear method and goal. He steals Red's artifact, which ends up in Lady's collection. So we can assume she's doing her own thing, perfectly fine with that. This guy tells him to take his place in the Ranger Academy before cutting his own arm off, for no reason. Mr. Arm Chopper here then does his own thing. Okay, fine. Our hero enters the Ranger Academy and finds another shape-shifting fighter, hiding in Mr. One-Armed Bandit's cupboard for some reason. No explanation is ever given to how the hell this monster ended up in the worst possible building for her. What, did she get lost? He meets Mr. Five Finger's sister, who just so happened to be the Pink Ranger. Well, that's convenient. Our hero then competes with the other recruits to rise the ranks. That genuinely makes sense? Okay. Fighter Girl then bangs a code on a pipe and this boss monster turns up and starts slaughtering everybody. Yeah, it turns out one of the boss monsters survived the battle 13 years ago and just so happened to hear this random fighter's code. Even so, they explain that how this monster's ever-spawning ability makes it very difficult to finish him off, so sure, I'm very much still on board with this. Our hero decides to fight him with the other recruits while the Blue Ranger destroys the main boss cluster. Our hero then confronts him directly without stealing the divine artifact before Bluey is killed by another mini version of the boss monster. Very disappointed our hero wasn't the one who killed the Blue Ranger, but also the whole stealing artifacts thing was totally pointless. His artifact just ends up in this lady's collection, so we can just rearrange this here. Fighter Girl then eats this mini boss monster and buggers off, presumably transporting him out of there. Oh yeah, there was also this floating pink little dragon thing who was with the Flower Pages. Next season, our hero and this one-eyed recruit joins the Green Squadron, who it turns out hunt boss monsters. Apparently, there are 5 of them running around, who our hero wants to kill now. Just great. So we can add all 5 of these guys to the plot then, and also remove the whole rise in the ranks thing. So this group ends up in a Groundhog's Day school where they eventually kill the time boss monster. Okay, 1 down. In the midst of that, our hero learnt of Green's identity. Lady meets up with him and they moronically tail him before trying to kill him at night. They both act idiotic. Greenie turns the forest into a gargantuan maze, defeats them both and reveals he knew our hero's identity. Nothing whatsoever comes from any of this. A sack-wearing boss monster attacks a random zoo and broadcasts that the caster craners are frauds. Right, so he's doing his own thing. So after that random attack, Red and Green Squadron go to clean up, including the Red Ranger, who starts undressing himself. Our hero badly sneaks up on him and stabs him. What? This was the main antagonist of the show, the stated endpoint of our hero's journey, and he's dead, without any build-up, consequence or climax. Now we're introduced to this Monster Protection Society that apparently wants to coexist with the monsters, and that one-eyed girl is the daughter of their boss. Add them to the list. Lady goes to Yellow's headquarters, where we learn they're creating their own monsters and have their own sinister plans. Okay. We discover this Monster Protection Society is working with the boss monster, which makes it a little weird for one-eyed girl to be working with them after agreeing to hunt boss monsters. We then learn Red is alive, but apparently doesn't resemble him. I guess the main threat is some kind of copy or clone or something. Sack Monster is here, who publicizes his anger to the world, and the staged Sunday Showdown is cancelled as a result. Again, very disappointing to learn the Spooder Crater's reputation was destroyed outside of our hero. The society invites 1,000 people into their Fortress of Doom, where they spray goo on them, turning them into large monsters. The society leaders then inject themselves with boss monster goo, giving them their abilities. Additionally, we learn One-Eyed Girl is half monster. The tower tuggers arrive without their costumes atop a castle wall. How the hell did they get the wheelchair up there? And they start fighting the monsters along with all the other rangers. During the battle, Greenie turns into a giant. A couple of the society leaders fight a bunch of rangers in the candy dimension before this society leader injects himself a second time, and the snake boss monster fully returns, right before he gets killed for a second time. Fantastic. So not only can the rangers be resurrected, but the boss monsters can as well. So the whole plot of our hero killing the rangers and monsters is completely redundant. Also, Yellow Ranger here apparently created the monsters as well as the divine artifacts that originally came from invisible dragon gods. Right, so he's the real big bad then. Cool, very cool. Also, turns out this boss monster who can teleport anyone anywhere and command any enemy with but a single word wasn't a boss at all, but this couple turned half monster merged together. What? So rejoin the plot again. Our hero doesn't really do much in the battle, the rest of the shape-shifting underlings save the civilians, and all the rangers plus our hero defeat the society leader by trapping him in a room to starve to death, presumably for months. Fighter Girl goes against the first boss monster and teams up with Mr. No Clap, the monster duo, and this random ass guy. Alrighty then. The Sunday Showdown is back on despite literally everything. And lastly, there's tons of clone ladies who all descended from an original Japanese priestess. You what? So yeah, complexity creep, when a relatively simple plot turns nightmarishly convoluted. The show started off absolutely awesome. An utterly weak shapeshifter having to use his wits to outsmart these evil rangers and take them down one by one. But over time, more and more characters and plot lines got introduced. This revenge plot was more and more pushed aside. So much so, our hero could have actually been removed and very, very little would have changed. Red's artifact being stolen had no impact. Bluey was killed by this boss monster. Groundhog Boss was killed by Greedy and his commander, and then later by the Clown Red Ranger. Red's death was quickly undone, and all our hero did in the final battle was get Red motivated to fight the big boss, inspire One Eye, and be the final one to destroy the bad guy's weakness. All three of which could have been done by literally anyone else. Basically, every major action was done by someone besides him. Plus, it's really bloody annoying just how there's no consequence to any of this. Red being stabbed by a hero, the sack monster admitting he killed a bunch of people at the zoo, the Rangers nearly killing 100 civilians, or even Greenie knowing our hero's identity right after he tried to kill him. Twice. So all in all, these two seasons are very disappointing. Can Go-Go Loser Ranger recover in the next season? Absolutely. But it would require a major refocus towards, let's say, the actual protagonist and his goal. But for now,